Time to bring you up to speed with what the newspapers are reporting this morning. And first with me here is the Nation newspaper with the screaming headline referring to what happened yesterday, talking about full honors for heroes of struggle on Democracy Day. And the riders read, President leads celebration of 25 years unbroken civil rule. And Yoko others lay wreath at Abiola's Lagos home. Above the masthead, LNG, Venture Global Crisis Shell, puts NLNG in perspective. And then you see just a very tears, reportage on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Olamide, let's do it.
I'm starting here with the New Telegraph on the Democracy Day celebration yesterday. More dividends coming to Nigerians, says Abbas, as President Tinubu leads June 12 celebration. The Christian Association of Nigeria urges leaders to lead with integrity and put people first. Democracy not about winning elections, Obi says, and APC's celebration of democracy. Another story there, our loyalty to constitutional democracy absolute, that's the CDS, as Lawan asks military to stamp out insecurity nationwide. The credible polls potent path to immortalize MKO Abiola, other heroes of democracy. That's according to Adeleke. Shetima to resident doctors resist temptation of rendering services in foreign lands. President Tinubu's government working to improve Nigeria's health indices, the minister is saying. That's it on the front page of the New Telegraph.
Next is this Nigeria. Tinubu, no cause for alarm, says presidency. Aftermath of Eagle Square sleep, officials say president not superhuman. Atiku, Obi, others wish him well. List of world leaders who fell at public events. Also, NLC alleges misinformation, says no agreement yet on new minimum wage. Police bust cartel dealing in stolen billions of naira worth of jewelry in Abuja. Shetima to resident doctors resist Japa syndrome. Let's stay back to salvage Nigeria. The troops kill 3 terrorists in Zamfara. And then on the ear of the newspaper, Salah celebrations, Nigerians groan over prices of food items. Next, okay, that's next should be the Punch newspaper.
Yes, the next is the Punch newspaper. The screaming headline here is on the minimum wage. Federal government warns of mass sacking as Labour disowns agreement. Unrealistic minimum wage will cause job losses. Minister tells Labour. Governors demand refund from $10 billion NIPP investment. Federal government threatens to punish schools shunning safety guidelines. And hunger protesters seek end to economic hardship. And at the lower left, on sexual harassment, HOS suspends permanent secretary, orders probe into a case of sexual harassment in that ministry. In Ogun State, motorists groan as Ogun Ram Market causes gridlock on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Ondoma nabbed with 8 skulls, human parts. That's it on the front page of the Punch this morning.
Next is Daily Trust. Only 5.3 million workers will benefit from new minimum wage. Nigeria among worst salary payers in Africa. Federal government, states, local governments must not politicize wages. Peter side. Reducing cost of living is the way out. Dr. Olowo Okere, no agreement reached with federal government. That's according to NLC. So many interesting reads on the front pages of the newspapers this morning.
And same story you have there. Begin with that on the Daily Times. No agreement reached with the federal government on new minimum wage, says the NLC. They are faulting President Tinubu's Democracy Day claim, insist on 250,000 naira. Says Nigerian workers will not accept any minimum wage figure that approximates to starvation wage. And also, why the nation's economy is ailing, that's according to stakeholders. They're commenting on the Democracy Day. 9 Bauchi local governments risk moderate high flood this year. That's according to NEMA. And finally, President Tinubu vows to preserve democracy, protect citizens' freedom. The story is making the front page of the Daily Times.
Daily Independent is next. New minimum wage is the key kind. The headline reads, federal government asks Labour to settle for what won't lead to mass retrenchment. NLC faults Tinubu's speech, says no agreement with FG yet. Recounts how they were intimidated, harassed by government officials. Says their demand remains 250,000 naira. Democracy Day, APC assures Nigerians of better days ahead. And then APC can't win next election except through rigging. That's according to party chieftain. Says Nigerians believe Tinubu's one-term president. And governors grounded in Niger as governor, 70% of cabinet depart for Hajj. Governor Mba breaks 19-year jinx as NMCN okays internship indexing for a suit other schools of nursing. Some governors encouraging youth to be criminals to rig election. That's according to former President Goodluck Jonathan. And above the masthead, only new constitution will stop Nigeria from collapse. Anyoko and court didn't declare pro-Wike lawmakers PDP members. This is according to Rivers Attorney General. And on the bottom strip, lead with integrity, put people first. Can urges leaders. That's you find that on page 7 of the Daily Independent.
On the leadership newspaper, court rules on Kano Emirate tussle today. No political will to end banditry, says Zamfara governor. And on Democracy Day, state observe low-key celebrations. You see that on the page 7 of the leadership. Labour faults President Tinubu's speech, insists on 250,000 naira. Federal government urges caution to avoid retrenchment for the economic crisis. PEMSEC denies alleged sexual harassment of female staff. And presidency waves off President Tinubu's sleep, says he is human. 80 die in the Democratic Republic of Congo boat mishap. The story is making the front page of the leadership.
Next is Platform Times. Jobless workers withdraw 14 billion naira from pension savings. This is according to PENCOM. That's a PENCOM report. Above the masthead, column 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. And then police arrest man with 8 skulls, human parts. Abiodun commutes death sentences for 45 inmates, frees 41 others in Ogun. Police DSS clash at June 12 Democracy Day in Ogun State. Governors demand refund on $10 billion NIPP investments. Declare MKO Abiola as democratically elected president. Ogun Group tells Tinubu. And then Wema Bank threatens legal action over license revocation claims. Organized labor reject Tinubu's claims on minimum wage agreement. And that's it about the Platform Times. Next.
All right. So I move to Newsdirect, Nigerian Newsdirect. Protesters defy heavy security presence, unite in Lagos or Osun, Ibadan against economic hardship. Others says legacy of MKO Abiola unfulfilled 31 years after as police arrest 5 Revolution Now protesters in Ibadan. Abiodun commutes death sentences for 45 inmates, pardons 41 others. That's still on the June 12 celebration. No going back on 250,000 naira minimum wage demand, Labour tells President Tinubu. And CIBN dispels fears, assures public of banking system stability. The story is making the front page of Nigerian Newsdirect.
And then Newshub, Daily Newshub, we have Democracy Day, Peter Obi, Atiku differ on Tinubu's Eagle Square. Then we have minimum wage. Our demand remains 250,000 naira. No agreement yet. Labour counters Tinubu accuses president of misinforming Nigeria. And then you have on the side here, Democracy Day, Pirates Confraternity charges NAS, as National Assembly, federal government on continuous electoral reforms, electronic voting. Some governors using criminals to rig elections. Jonathan alleges, I have no regrets, stepping on powerful toes, says Benue governor. Outrage in Niger as governor, deputy speaker, state exco members travel to Saudi for Hajj. Hard times, no more excuses, Bode George tells Tinubu. Ex-vice chair Lukman finally dumps APC. Why my subordinate accused me of sexual harassment. Foreign Affairs Ministry Permanent Secretary. Democracy Day, be wary of anti-democratic forces. Tinubu warns Nigerians. Praises Abiola. Other June 12 heroes. Vows to preserve democracy. Appeases citizens over harsh economic situation. And on the bottom strip, settle for realistic minimum wage. Federal government advises labor.
And so I begin here with the first news. On Democracy Day demands, Jonathan urges unity. PDP warns of citizen anger. President Tinubu urged to build democracy. Foreign Affairs Minister urges probe into PAMSEC's alleged sexual assault. And on the top right, Governor Oti suspends Health Commissioner for alleged gross misconduct. Lagos cholera outbreak claims 5 lives, 60 persons hospitalized. Senate approves 98.5 billion naira supplementary budget for the FCT. And outside Nigeria, President Biden's son convicted on 3 felony charges in gun case. Back to Nigeria, police military's approach to banditry frustrating Zamfara governor laments. On June 12, DSS issues warning against the hashtag End Hunger protest. Higher tariff reduced electricity subsidy from 3 trillion naira to 1 trillion naira, according to the Minister of Power. The story is making the front page of the first news.
Right, the Nation's Sport and Life is the last that I have with me here. Cheaper United reveal 10 to 12 offers for Nwabali. And then NFF propose technical advisor for Super Eagles to work with Finidi from September. Also meant to discuss Napoli future with agent after Chelsea snub. Here we have Spurs, Man United battle for £60 million, Eze. Greenwood open to Juve move. And then you also have Ten Hag offer two-year extension at Man United. Time up. Messi into Miami will be my last club. And then also we have Abraham on West Ham's radar. Go away. Man United fans want Rashford, Casemiro out. Son dispels Tottenham exit rumors. Chelsea could offer Gallagher new deal. And then we also have Man United reluctant to pay £70 million for Braithwaite. Tottenham terminates Ndobele's contract. Record signing leaves after failed 5 years. And then West Ham plan Awuni soup. So many interesting developments, so many interesting headlines to find on the pages of the newspaper. And then you see most of the newspapers rehashing the messages that the president actually reverberated to entire Nigerians, recognizing the fallen heroes, talking about issues that had happened, and also reflecting. One thing that also struck me yesterday that I found striking was the fact that when the presidential speech was going to be read, it began with the old national anthem. The old national anthem, now newly adopted national anthem, and it sounded so good. The sonority of the sound, the sick tune, and all of that, and as against what we used to have, Arise, O Compatriot. So, the president actually talked about so many things which we'll be looking at in the course of the program, and several issues which the newspapers reported regarding the speech, reactions from political parties saying that they disagree with the president with some of the things that he said. But definitely, that it's a common thing for oppositions always disagree.
And one major story that is probably on every newspaper that we've read this morning is on Labour insisting on the 250,000 naira minimum wage.
That's right.
Well, if I'm correct, according to the speech of the president, he said he will be sending the executive bill soon.
That's right.
And so he has not actually disclosed what he has decided to be in that bill. I wonder why Labour is insisting on this and why we're having this on the front page. Let's not take two steps forward and take three back. Let's not.
You're even talking about three. Some even talk about take one step forward and then you take 10 steps back. I don't know how that is done, but it's just
yes. Like I said earlier, yesterday brought back memories of June 12th. MK Abiola, the major people in the struggle, especially the president who was also involved in this struggle. He also acknowledged some of the fallen heroes, some of our heroes, those that are fallen and those that are still living till now. And also, he also acknowledged some student activists. If you notice that activism then compared to activism now, it's quite different anyways.
And then you also look at the youth, how are the youth internalizing, the values of Nigeria, how are they thinking about this country. It's not enough for you to get on the social media and criticize every step of government actions. It's not enough for you to say we want a better Nigeria. What exactly it is that you are doing as a Nigerian to make Nigeria better. It's not just you saying Nigeria is bad, everything is going down the drain. But we saw a youth who was trying to steal the cat I stored on the on the third mainland bridge. We see people destroying government infrastructure. But then we need to go on because there's so much to talk about, and then in the course of the program. So let's just leave that for our guests to explain.